Women over 50 are rewriting the script on what it means to age. Jacqueline Perez is founder and CEO of Kuel Life, a digital platform for women, and we welcome her this morning. Good morning to you, Jacqueline.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for hosting me today.
You, Tell us what inspired you to create Kuel Life.
Oh, well, I'm going to be honest. It was a completely self serving mission. I went through that natural process that every other human goes through, and it's called menopause. And I get that a lot of women sail through with, not any problems. Unfortunately, or in this case, fortunately, it hit me like a tractor trailer. And I mean, you name the symptom, Ken, I probably had it. At one point in time, I weighed what I weighed the day I delivered my baby. You know those
Wow.
Shar puppies with the back fat? That's like you could
Yeah.
pick me up by my back fat. And while it's attractive on puppies, not so attractive on me. And I needed to solve it for myself. And when I went through the process, what I realized is I'm not that special. There has to be other women out there who are also suffering through this very natural process. And I decided I needed to do something to be part of the sea change. And I wanted to bring information to women because I believe information is power. And of course, this happened about 5 or 6 years ago. We've made a lot of progress. There is a lot more information on menopause and there are a lot more solutions for women, which I'm thrilled, but we still have a long way to go. And I'm just thrilled to be part of it.
Let me ask you, Jacqueline, did you experience any symptoms and just didn't realize they were symptoms? Like, did you have perimenopause? Because a lot of people, as a man, we're dopes about this. We just know, we say, oh, whoa, she's in a bad mood because we're idiots, not realizing what you're going through. And it must be awful. My mother has talked about it, and as not only am I a man but a gay man, so we don't, it's difficult because we don't have the direct experience. But my mother talked about how awful it was, and you still have to go about your life, and you still have your family, and you still have your career, and you still have to keep going. That has got to be just awful for you as a human being to be going through.
Well, here's the deal. Perimenopause can start as early as late 30s, early 40s. And now in hindsight, I understand what I was going through at the time. But at the time, I just attributed it to I had a baby later in life and I was a martial artist. So I was training really hard and I was raising a small child as a single mom. And I also ran my own business. And I attributed all of those symptoms, not being able to sleep, anxiety. It got so bad that I got to the point where I had a hard time finding joy. And I'm a glass 3/4 full kind of woman.
Mhm.
So yes, but don't feel like an idiot because I was an idiot. It was happening to me and I didn't understand it because we just didn't have the information.
Yeah, and that's why it's so wonderful that now you have this site so that women can get together and exchange what they're going through and exchange. Oh, when I maybe talk about what their doctor told them, et cetera. This is a perfect thing for that. And women over 50 are one of the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs in America. Why is that specifically?
Oh, it's so exciting. It's such an exciting time for women. Ken, this is the largest cohort of women over 50, and not only in numbers, but we happen to be the healthiest, the wealthiest, the most educated, and the most experienced. You tie that with the diminishing needs of caregiving responsibilities, because whether you wanted to have a kid or not, and you had one, probably you're experiencing this empty nest thing. They're leaving the home. Add to that a lot of women are exiting corporate America after 50, and then sadly, we lose our parents. Women are facing an entire new lifespan, 30, 40 years of health, and they can't wait to give back to the world and leave a bigger legacy than ever before. And you can see it in the numbers. I mean, Wells Fargo recently did a study where I think it's 40% of businesses in the US are owned by women.
Mhm.
It's an exciting time.
And they're all different types of businesses from small to large and every aspect. I read a lot of the business journals, and it's amazing to see, and it's good to see. It just creates all these wonderful opportunities for women with so much talent that where it hasn't been experienced or expressed, rather, through corporate means, if you will. How have your experiences shaped what it means to be a visible person over 50?
Well, as I mentioned, menopause came gunning for me. And I realized that because of that, I started to play small and I started to become invisible. And yes, ageism is a real thing and it crosses genders. I mean, ageism happens to men and women. But part of it for women is, how do you feel inside? And if you lose who you are, it gets tough to show up large and proud. And so for me, solving the physiological issues that came allowed me to find not just my body, but my spirit again. And, I have to tell any woman going through this process, if you are suffering, I promise, do the work, figure it out, because the best part of life is on the other side of menopause, of going through that phase. I love my life. This is definitely the best part of my life.
And we're now finding out, in fact, as recently as yesterday and today, that the treatments, I guess, using estrogen, I guess in the year 2000 or so, if I got this straight, it was warned that, oh, there are increases in your chance of having cancer if you take these supplements when you are going through menopause. Now, turns out that was totally overblown from a bad study. So all these years, a lot of women have been suffering with the withdrawal of estrogen through menopause when they didn't have to be. So that's interesting. Hopefully now we'll see maybe a slight easing in the suffering you're going through. With about 30 seconds left, tell us the web address for Kuel Life. How can people find it?
So it is spelled, it's Cool Life, but I spell it, it's all cattywampus. I spell it with a K. So it's Kuel life, life.com. And I literally have hundreds of thought leaders from around the world who are currently helping women in the myriad of opportunities and challenges that present themselves during this time in life. And the information is out there. It's
I
free.
love
Go
it.
get it. Go learn about it.
And don't suffer like so many have had to suffer for so many years. It's just ridiculous that society was set up that way, and it should never have been. Jacqueline Perez, founder and CEO of the digital platform for women, Cool Life. Thank you for joining us. Please come back again.
Thank you, Ken.